أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد.
This is in Surah Al-Mu'minun. The context of this verse is it talks about a prophet and people denying this prophet, and these people reject the hereafter and they say that this prophet is nothing but a liar, so it's a denial of him. And then the prophet asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him victory over these people. And when the prophet asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for something, then it's a done deal. And if you actually read these verses, the answer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, and you can actually feel the anger that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has towards these disbelievers. So anyway, let's first of all do a grammatical analysis of the verse, and then we can go through some discussions, inshaAllah. So we have firstly the verb qala, and this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. And what did he say? He said, عَمَّا قَلِيلٍ لَيُصْبِحُنَّ نَادِمِينَ. So we have here amma, which is actually the harf jar an, and ma. Now this ma could have two possible meanings. The two meanings are, it could be for emphasis. Ma is za'idah, for emphasis. In this case, qalil would be the ism majroor, and the ma would be just be there for emphasis. Or ma could be, it could be ism nakira, an indefinite noun. So ma can be used to indicate something which is indefinite, and then qalil would be the sifa for this thing. And the mufassirin say that with this meaning, the ma has the meaning of either waqt, waqtin, or zaman. Waqt means a time, and zaman means a specific time. So it would be waqtin qalilin or zamanin qalilin. Then we have the lam. This comes after an oath. So wallahi la yusbihunna, and then there's a noon of tawkeed. So there's a double emphasis here. This is a fi'l mudara', and yusbihu is actually one of the sisters of kana. Asbaha yusbihu. So asbaha is a sister of kana, and this is the mudara' form of it. So yusbihu would have an ism as well as a khabar. So the ism would be the dhamir inside, which will be hum, they. Hum yusbihunna. And then nadimin would be the khabar, and that's why it's mansub. Notice here nadimin is a ism fa'il. An ism fa'il indicates a state, that this is their constant state, that they will most certainly and surely become regretful. So let's go through some discussions, inshallah. First of all, what type of meaning does the harf jar an have? Scholars say that in this case, the an has the meaning of, so let me read this. It says, وَفِيهَا مَعْنَى الْمُجَاوَزَةِ أي بعد مرور وقت قليل. So it has the meaning of mujawaza. Al-mujawaza has the meaning to pass or cross over. So let me just write this, pass or cross over. So you can imagine there to a different place or a different time. So this is al-mujawaza. It's saying that this harf jar an has the meaning of mujawaza. So in other words, the an here signifies a crossing over. And when does this crossing over take place? qalilin, in a little, after a little. Another verse which uses the same an, this is in Surah Al-Inshiqaq. لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ. Surely you'll experience state after state. طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ. So you move from state to state. So this meaning of al-mujawaza, to pass or to cross over from state to state. So the an here has this meaning. Now an has many meanings, and that's one of the meanings. One other point I want to mention is the use of indefinite nouns. One of the usages is what's known as at-taqleel, to make something very, very minute. So this is the meaning here that ma gets as well, is that it's the time of this happening, of them becoming regretful, is a time which is very, very close. Now, a fun discussion is, we have here the jar majroor, or jar majroor sifa, depending on how you see it. And we ask the question, is this needs to be linked to something. This is known as a muta'alliq, and it needs to be linked to something. So amma qalil, after a little. It's some scholars say it's linked to liyusbihunna. They will surely become, after a little while, regretful. Now, in a normal sentence, this should have come at the end, the jar majroor. It should be لِيُصْبِحُنَّ نَادِمِينَ عَمَّا قَلِيلٍ. Why was it in front? The reason why, and this is part of the balagha of the Qur'an, is it gives two meanings in one. So that they will become regretful very soon. And some scholars say that Amma Qalil is actually linked to a statement that comes before it, based on this verse here, the verse before it. The verse before it says, قَالَ رَبِّي أُنصُرْنِي بِمَا كَذَّبُونَ. He said, my Lord, support me because they have denied me. They have belied me. So there is actually an omitted sentence. So the omitted sentence is nansuruka. We shall give you victory. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is responding. But this is actually omitted, and it's assumed. Part of the balagha, or the linguistic excellence of this Qur'an, is to indicate that this statement was not even mentioned, meaning it was already assumed. As soon as the Prophet made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him victory, it was a done deal, and there was no need to mention this. So it's nansurka, we shall give you victory in a short while, as well as in a short while we shall surely make them regretful. It serves as having both of these meanings. وصلى الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد.